think the network signal was a bit dicey there, and so I had to end it so that I can come up so you can hear me clearly. My name is Kelechi Ambrose, and we're talking about the IQ of one Nigerianists. The way we want to give them a test on this teaching. We want to give them a test on how they can, adjudge their reasoning. They themselves will come to understand and realize if they are actually doing what they are doing out of what they know, and of course, or they are doing it because they are just being wicked and envious. Now, what this teaching of this broadcast is going to teach is that it's going to either reveal two things and show that these people are either they are just being wicked, they know what they are doing, or they're actually operating in ignorance. And of course, most people anyways are operating in ignorance, especially I have come to understand that most of our people are actually ignorant of the fact of what they are doing. Now, when you talk about IQ, you're talking about intelligence quotient. Intelligence quotient, that's IQ. Of course, we have emotional quotient, we have intelligence quotient, we have other quotients too. But we want to look at IQ, intelligence quotient. Now, for me to prove that I am intelligent, I have to understand where I'm coming from, understand my source, understand why I am coming from there, what actually prompted me to begin that journey, what those before me have done, gone through, experienced, and what they achieved. Understanding the fullness of the achievement, and if they are my source, I came from that means and that source, and I find myself in the same circumstance with them, I am able to analyze what they did about the situation, what they did about the circumstance, what they did about, that situation, and how they handled the situation, what they knew about the situation, the strategies they applied to sort the situation, the results they got about the strategy, and where the result took them, and of course knowing at what point or how do I connect from knowledge, from where their result was able to get to, and how I will have to connect it to for continuity, or for change of tactics, or for strategizing, or revitalizing the whole process to be able to achieve results. Which means that if I want to have an understanding of any matter at all, I must look at the foundation of the matter, how the matter began. Now, the first thing I expect one Nigerianists to do on the issue of Biafra is first to understand what is Biafra. That is the first understanding. What is Biafra? Now, this is the first test they're going to give to themselves. Ask themselves, what is Biafra? That's the first question. Because when you talk about intelligence, you talk about analyzing the capacity to reason. You look at what, and you look at, what. After looking at what, you look at why, and then you look at how, and then you look at what again. That's it. That's it. You look at what, you look at why, you look at what, and you look at how. Because first look at what, why, what is happening now, what is the circumstance. Then you look at how did this come to be. Then you look at why did this come to be. Then you look at what has to be done to sort it. Those are the what, how, why, and what. Now, as a Biafran, and as somebody who say you're a one Nigerianist, the first test I want you to give yourself is this. Ask yourself the question, what is Biafra? Now, of course, I don't want to go too much on history, because you can also make the research on what Biafra is. Of course, Biafra has existed over 400 years before Nigeria was created, and Biafra had an ideology, which means that the people who came about Biafra had a plan, a program, a mandate, and all of that. They had what they had in mind. Before they came together, before they instituted Biafra. Biafra is actually a group of people, or a race of people who actually came together, and they have been living in that regard because they are one. They are one. Just like the Oduduwa family, the Oduduwa people, the Yorubas, they came from a source. They have a source, and they are one. That means they have something in common. which means that if you want to talk about Biafra, you talk about people who have something in common. So that again should inform you that the reason why you have Biafra is because a group of people who are from the same source came together, and then they began, they began with an ideology of building a nation of their own and increasing themselves. And of course, as people who are from one source, they have everything in common. They did everything in common. They had, even if they had diverse languages anyway, they started having diverse languages. They actually had something in common. They are from one source, and that source is their main focus or sentiment, point of sentiment, which means that if they look at everything around, they just know that, oh, we are from the same place, we're from the same source. So that alone is the sentiment that binds them together, and that helps them to do things in common, even if sometimes they want to do things differently. It's just like in a family, in a household, you can have 4 children, and each of those children have different things they were pursuing in life, different goals. Some of them one wants to be a doctor, one wants to be a captain, one wants to be a pilot, one wants to be an engineer, and they just have diverse and to be and things that they want to do. These are the strategies and these are the ways. And of course, we understand all of these because in spite of the fact that they have all these things in common, they are pursuing different courses, but they are pursuing it for one purpose: to build one family. So when it's turning Biafra, what we are doing as people who are Biafrans, as a nation who is Biafra, and as oh my God, the networks stuff. I don't know what is going on. Why are these people making me, all these people who are calling by this time, disconnecting me from the network? Please, I don't know whether, I don't know whether you can, please make me, if actually you can, please, something is wrong. Something